Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Tuesday, November 4th, 2014. Well, it's election day, sort of. Many states have been going through an election now for weeks here in the U.S., but for me, I'm just an old-fashioned kind of person that likes to go to the polls and cast my vote, and that's what I will be doing today. News. Yesterday, for the most part, well, let's see, PMI manufacturing and construction spending missed. So things continue to look soft from that perspective, but the manufacturing index was in line, I guess you might say. And I missed this one here. I didn't notice this little star, so let's take a look at motor vehicle sales. And they are up. Of course, now keep in mind that there is a lot of people think that there's a bubble forming in the automobile industry, and that credit, well, because the Fed's rates are so cheap, credit is cheap. Banks are willing to take huge risks. And car dealerships, or I should say car manufacturers, with their factory stores and their factory loans, just to keep the numbers up, are taking more of a risk, I guess you could say. So there's kind of a bubble, they say, forming in that industry. Be that as it may, though, today we have international trade and factory orders coming up as our potentially market-affecting announcements today. Okay, let's take a look across the ponds. Over in Asia, we're kind of mixed. The Nikkei still on a tear because of the Bank of Japan's QE, I guess you might say. And here we have Europe, which is bearish across the board. Not a big deal, but pretty bearish. Nothing to be shocked about, I guess you could say. Okay, here, futures. Let's bring up the big four here. Looks like we might gap down a tad. This is interesting. Look at oil. Down to 76.68 over here, down over 2.5% overnight. Gold may have bottomed, and it seems maybe it's bottomed. It's kind of chugging along here at this 1163 roughly level. The S&P 500, the ES futures overnight, pretty much what they were yesterday, and that's reflected here. There's not much movement except for the TF futures, which is the Russell 2000 futures, reacting a little bit more strongly like it usually does. I mean, there's nothing unusual with that, seeing something like that, because it's all small cap stocks, and they're a tad bit more volatile than other compiled indexes. I guess that's what you would call it. What else do we want to look at here? The Euro US dollar still hanging around $1.25. So there's nothing shocking or highly moving there. And the dollar DX, I should move this up. Let's move this up. Here's how we do this here. We'll say, let's see, edit this, and let's bring the dollar up. Let's bring the dollar up. I want to put it right underneath this one, the Euro US dollar. So all I got to do is just click here and say move up, and then save. And there, it's moved up. So now it's nestled right along here with the Euro US dollar, and we can take a look at both of them at the same time. Okay, and someday I might even understand what the heck it is that I'm looking at. All right. Speaking of, every once in a while, I get these flyers in the mail that say, "Oh man, so and so predicted this huge run up in this stock and this huge run up in this stock, and here's, a small cap over the counter or whatever stock that you need to invest in, buy up millions of shares because it's going to double or triple or quadruple, or it's going to increase 1,000% from where it is now because of this and that." And they have this whole big flyer, and they're kind of, if you have time, they're kind of interesting to read. Well, I got one a week or so ago. I'm going to bring it up here on this this particular stock, which is Virtus Oil and Gas Corp. And I got the flyer on this day, and it says buy under $1.50, or if it's around $1.50, to buy it and then sell it if it gets up to, I don't know, like $3 or something like that. So this shaded candle here from last week, a week before actually, which is Wednesday of that week. And I set an alert, and this is the reason why I brought it up, is because I set an alert down here for $1.50, and then I set another alert up here, which is the high. And I was thinking, well, what if I did buy it at $1.50? So let's see what happens. So this is the day that I got the alert, so I'm going to shade this one also. So let's say we bought it at $1.50, and periodically, if I remember over the coming months, actually what I could do is put an alert here, and then we'll put in another alert. And let's see, $1.50. Actually, it closed at exactly $1.50. So I have an alert here, which is the previous high. So we'll be reminded when it violates one of those. And I'm going to put another alert down here, which is the low. And we'll keep an eye on this and see if somebody taps my shoulder on this and see what happens. This should be kind of fun to follow, don't you think? I don't have the flyer anymore. I don't know which market expert or whatever came out with this huge report. I think that what they do is they find these things and they buy it. It's not doing anything. So then they go ahead and they issue these huge reports. And I don't know where I am in the line of people getting this report. I don't know if where it came out on calendar-wise on this. Maybe it came out here. And people go, "Oh, well, you're going to buy," and they buy. And the guy that wrote the report says, "I'm going to sell. And then it comes down, and then he sends out the brochure to another, say like 1 million people or something like that. And then there's a buying, he buys down here. I don't know, I have no idea. It comes back down to where it was. He buys again, issues the report, makes a ton of money. I don't know. I just think that that's probably the way that it works. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on this. And that's sort of where I came up with this particular NAVB, was a report from somebody. I don't think it was a big glossy flyer or anything that I got, and so far, well, it's not panning out too well, but let's take a look at NAVB. Speculative biotech stock that bought at $1.62, so losing some money here, and bought some shares in one account and some shares in another account, kind of spread the wealth here, and hopefully it'll do something. But for right now, it's definitely not doing anything. But to be truthful, let's go back to auto here. It has done some stuff. So I have an alert set at $3, and if it gets up to $3, I'll just say, okay, I'm out. And by the way, if you haven't noticed on this particular chart, this is PPS indicator, and what I did with it was the slow and fast average, I unchecked all these boxes here so I don't have to look at it. And the buy and the sell signal, I changed both of those to white, and the biggest, fattest indicator I could, which is a 5-point or whatever they want to call it, indicator that I could, and that's why it shows up looking like that. So yeah, bought it way back over here. So I've been hanging on to this for quite a while. This is a couple of years, well, a year now. Yeah, November of last year. So it's been a year. We're still waiting for it to do something here. It wasn't real expensive, so I thought, well, what the heck? Let's see what happens. All right, enough chit-chat. Let's go back here. Google's doing well, or at least it came back in line yesterday. We'll take a look at that as we go through the A+ list, which we're going to do right now. Bring up the chart here. Okay, here we have Apple. Target set down here. Still waiting for that puppy to come down here and tap our target. Amazon, we weren't really sure exactly what it's doing here. We might, want to say that maybe the trend is reversing on Amazon. I would think that it would be just about time for them to get back into the swing of things here. Maybe, and I don't delve into their financials or anything to find out what it is, why Amazon is not doing so well, and it might be because maybe they think the business is maturing, or their outlook isn't all that cool, or the Fire Phone isn't doing that hot, which I suspect the Fire Phone is not doing that hot, although the Fire itself and Kindle and just their business model and everything, I think, is clicking on all cylinders. But we don't know what's going on here, so we're just going to stand back and wait to see what is going to happen with it. Boeing, oh yeah, that's right, Baba's earnings are today. Boeing, we're waiting for it to come down here and tag our target. Alibaba has earnings today. Yes, they do. So that should be fun. Didn't do anything last night. Was thinking about it, but I should say yesterday afternoon. I was thinking about it, but I didn't. Baidu. I think we're in an uptrend here, so let's throw ourselves a 50 delta target down here and wait for it to come down and take it. Chipotle, we had set up on Chipotle. We are still in a setup today on Chipotle. Now remember, according to our rules, we need a hookup on stochastic, a hookup on the MACD, and preferably a moving average moving in our direction, or about to. Actually, it should be moving in our direction. So we're just going to waive one of the rules, I guess you might say. And we will wait. We will stay in setup mode for 3 days. This is actually a better setup because we have moved below the 20. So if you look at this box up here where it says NA, it says 18.9701. I can't go up there and do that at the same time. So that's where we're at. So that's actually a slightly better setup, but I'm not really seeing any momentum here. So there's going to have to be something else going on here to get me excited about getting in with a bull put on Chipotle. And what that will be, I don't know. Just something to make me feel comfortable about it, because I'm not feeling real good about that particular trade. Here we have Costco. Definitely in an uptrend. MACD is positive. We have a 50 delta target down here. We're just waiting. Take a look at the Dow cash index. Here was a new high, squeaked out a new high yesterday. Yeah, it squeaked out a new high yesterday. Maybe running out of gas. Who knows? We'll take a look at gold, but you might want to hold your nose here. Maybe we bottomed on gold. Who the heck knows? Google. Here we have our bear call, and we finally are below that short. So, maybe if Google gives us another little impulse down again, that we might start making some money on that trade. LinkedIn. Well, yeah, they had their earnings last, either probably Thursday night, and they're on a tear, so you don't need to hit me upside the head more than once. I'm putting a 50 delta target down here. NDX. Yeah, eked out a new high here as well. And we have a 20 delta target down here, so we're waiting for it to come down and tap that one. Let's see here. Netflix, yeah. Bad trade last week. I already kicked myself about it yesterday, so I don't need to do any more today. So what are we looking at here? Maybe a trend change, maybe not a trend change. I don't know what's going on there. Staying away. Priceline. Yeah. They have their earnings announcement today. Can't make so much, $20 per share. They must not have many shares outstanding or something. I don't know. To be $1,000 stock, and they really have no intention, I believe, of splitting. So let it ride. Yeah, I wish Apple had done that, not split, or split in half or something. That 7-1, or 1-7, I guess I should say. All right, we're just not gonna touch that one. It's too late to touch it anyway. Russell, wake up, Jeff. May have hit a top here, but we have a target set down here. We're back into an uptrend. SPX, I mentioned yesterday that I was thinking of a strategy on SPX, which when I went in and did on demand didn't work out, so I'm trying to adjust it or something. But anyway, new high here yesterday. I didn't hear much about that on the news, but I didn't watch much news yesterday. I guess we're in a new uptrend, so we're going to throw in a 20 delta target here. Okay. Tesla. What's going on? Tesla has earnings, I believe, this week. Which way you going, Tesla? Not touching it. Visa, how did it do yesterday? Is it still on a tear? Yeah. Might be running out of gas, along with a lot of other equities at this point. All right, well, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. And we have our new entry into the A+ list. Alibaba has earnings this morning. Should be interesting. And I think also along with Priceline. So it should be a fun day. Fun open anyway. All right, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.